Thank you for joining us this Memorial morning for the official opening of the Knoxville Bridge. On behalf of the Peoria Board of Trustees, we wish to sincerely thank our outstanding Park District staff for the tremendous dedication they have brought to this project, as well as the entire trail. Let's hear it for the Peoria Park District staff, please. This bridge is the capstone of our paved 13-mile Peoria Park District Rock Island Greenway Trail. It will serve our citizens while they bike and walk the scenic trail from the Peoria riverfront all the way to Alta. Thank you for coming. And now I'd like to introduce Tim Cassie, the President of the Board of Trustees.
Thank you, Kelly. For those of you that don't know, and I'm sure most of you do, that was Kelly Cummings. She's the Vice President of the Board of Trustees for the Park District. We also have with us today our entire board. If you just raise your hand as you recognize Jim Hancock. There's Jim, Robert Johnson, Jackie Petty. They're all sitting together over there. Matt Ryan and Nancy Snowden. And since this project has been going on for so long, I've been blessed to come to a lot of dedications for facilities for the Park District, and as most of you can attest, this one was long in coming. It's good to be here today. But we also have former trustees of the Park Board here with us today. Jim Cummings, front and center, and Roger Allen. I don't know where Roger is, but I saw him. There he is over there. Thanks for being here, and I'd especially like to mention Tom Leiter's here as well. Tom was, he's not on the program, but he was instrumental behind the scenes in converting the rail to trail and in getting the bridge done that's behind us. And without his help from the private sector, I don't know that it would have been done. And I'd especially like to thank and welcome Secretary Ray Lahood for being here today, Senator Dave Kaler, and Mayor Jim Artis. And it's Did I mention Matt Ryan? I thought I did. At this time, I'd like to introduce Secretary LaHood, who was United States Secretary of Transportation in the Obama cabinet from 2009 to 2013. As we all know, he represented the 18th Congressional District from 1995 until his appointment and confirmation as Secretary. It's known to me and most of us that Secretary LaHood is a great supporter of rails to trails, not only locally, but nationally, as he was Secretary of Transportation. I think it was once said by him as Secretary of Transportation that non-motorized transportation is now equal and on par with motorized transportation. Secretary LaHood.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here. How about all of the cyclists and all of the kids come up here? Come on. All of the children, come on. And I'll tell you why in a minute. And all of those who rode their bikes here, come on. Gather right up here. Come on, you guys. Gather around. And all the cyclists who came, come on. Sit down. Sit. You're all going to be on TV. Those channels that didn't make it are they mad? Come on, all you cyclists, gather behind me. We are up here in front. Now I know come on you guys, gather around here. Now you got to look out that way. You don't look at me, look out that way. If you want to be on TV, you got to look out that way. Turn around, look out that way. Is everybody that wants to be up here? Yeah. These young people and these cyclists and all the people that are on the trail now, that's what this dedication is about today. It's not about all the great people who work at the Park District. It's not about those who serve on the board with great distinction and hard work. It's not about any of these politicians. It's about our friends and neighbors and fellow citizens, particularly the young people. This bridge will be here for the next 100 years. Someday, 1 or 2 or 3 of these young people will be standing here holding the microphone, having used this magnificent facility. What the bridge does is open up enormous opportunities for people all over Central Illinois to really enjoy the beauty of Central Illinois. And this would not have happened without the extraordinary leadership of those who serve on the Park District. But you know I have great... Finally got the memo, huh? Get over here so you can get in the picture. You know I have enormous affection for Bonnie Noble for a lot of reasons. But for all of us who live in Central Illinois and benefit from the Park District that we have, her 5 decades, is it 4 or 5, Bonnie? 4. I'm sorry. Her 40 years of service to Central Illinois, her 40 years of service, her 40 years of leadership is also something we can celebrate today. Bonnie, thank you for all you've done for all the citizens of Central Illinois. So I'm delighted to be a part of this, to acknowledge the great leadership. When I was at DOT, I traveled all over the country. I went to every state, visited 230 cities around the country. Nobody in America has a better park district than we do. Nobody has as many public golf courses. Nobody has the Rock Island Trail the way that we do. And I've used it time and time again on my bike and walking and jogging, and as I know many of you have. We are blessed in Central Illinois to have this magnificent Rock Island Trail, and it's because of extraordinary vision and leadership, and I am just delighted to have played a small part in making this happen and being here today, and I could not be any more delighted than I am to have these young people here, because this really represents the future of our community. And so what we have is the people that love the trail because they use it every day. Some of them told me that, and those that will be using it for the next how many decades? Forever. Thank you, Central Illinois.
Thank you, Secretary Lahood. I failed to mention there's a lot of people, a lot of folks that brought us here today over the years. Bruce Brown mentioned me earlier. It's been 38 years since he's been involved. Jerry Ford was president. But some of the folks that are here that helped us get here today are those from the Illinois Department of Transportation and Illinois Department of Natural Resources. I know there's some officials here. Their names are on the programs if you'll look at it. But we want to thank them too. And that's why we're honored today to have Senator Dave Kaler that represents us. Dave's always been a great advocate of healthy lifestyles and the rail to trail conversion.
Thank you very much, Tim. Thank you. And I too, Ray, rode my bike here today. I love that bridge. In fact, is Jim Hine here, the contractor? He kept me up to date weekly on the progress of how the bridge was going, and I appreciate that. But let me just tell you a story. I was in Chicago this past weekend, and there's been an explosion of bicycling all across the country. And so I was in a crosswalk. I got hit by a bicyclist. Just, you know, that's the problem in Chicago is you don't have enough room for the cars, the walkers, and the bikers, and everything else. This makes Peoria basically the best, most friendly bicycle city, I think, in certainly the Midwest, if not the country. And this is the kind of amenity that's going to really make our quality of life such that Peoria becomes a destination point. People want to live here. People want to be here. And in riding the trail, as I try to do at least several times every week, there's people out every morning. People use this. I remember, and Bruce can tell stories. We've had a long history. The mayor knows this. Of people on the city council have talked about the trail and trying to get it going. And kudos to the Park District and Bonnie for making this all happen. I thought in my lifetime I'm going to ride on this trail. And every time I go by, especially that part up there where the bike town is, I often thought as I saw the old tracks there, I thought people someday are going to be walking on that and riding on that and using that, and that day is today. Congratulations, everyone.
Senator Kaler mentioned Mayor Artis. Mayor Artis has always been a great supporter of the Park District, Parks and Recreations in Peoria, and including the rails to trails conversion. As Dave just mentioned, I forgot you were on the city council for a lot of years on that. There was many a Tuesday night that Mayor Artis diplomatically balanced the interests of rail advocates and trail advocates, but I believe in his heart this is where he always wanted to be, to see this project complete. So, Mayor Artis.
Thank you, Tim. There's really not a lot to add after the Secretary and Senator and the President of the school board, or the park board, I apologize. I really appreciate Secretary Lahood bringing these kids up here because that really is what it's all about. They're our future. They're going to be the leaders. They're going to be the ones that take care of us when we get old. And hopefully with the trail, a lot of us will be able to get old and be more healthy as we get there. Mimi and I are on this trail 3 or 4 times a week, and we absolutely love it. The bridge, I think that the bridge is more than just a way to get across Knoxville. It really is that connection that makes the connection between Peoria and points north and west, and the connection going south and east, and bringing all of our neighborhoods together. Kudos to our park district. This really is a world-class park district. We sometimes don't appreciate a lot of the things that we have in this community. We take them for granted. But I promise you, as I meet this weekend with mayors from around the state at our summer municipal league board meeting, all those mayors from around the state are constantly asking how all these exciting things are happening in the city of Peoria, and it's because we have an outstanding community that deserves these type of amenities, and we're really excited for us. So congratulations to the Park District, congratulations to the community, and all these kids here. We look forward to them serving us in the future. I see all these young Lahoods over here that are probably going to be following in Senator Lahood's footsteps too. So have a good afternoon, everybody. Thank you.
We're going to diverge a bit from the dedication program that you have in your handouts. Bruce Brown asked that if he could say some words, because he has been working with, behind the scenes, all kinds of folks to get this trail built. So we're happy to have Bruce here.
I'm standing here today, hope I can get through this, some considerable emotion. "38 years ago, I was a 28-year-old member of the Peoria City Council, representing the 3rd District. And I got a call in July, might have been the 3rd week of July. America had just celebrated its grand bicentennial, July 4th, 1976. Jerry Ford was president. And I got a call about the 3rd week of July, if not to the day today, certainly to the week, from a guy by the name of Bill Rutherford. And he wanted to meet me out at Alta, Illinois, to talk about the concept of a linear park. And do I need to tell you that Alta, Illinois isn't in the city of Peoria and certainly is not in my 3rd district. But there we are, standing out by an abandoned railroad bridge, broken down. If you took a quarter out of your pocket and tossed it on what was left of the bridge deck, the whole thing would collapse into a ravine. And I looked at Bill as we talked, bugs flying around, hotter than hell. And I said, Bill Rutherford, how are you going to do this? You have no money. There are some folks further down the line that are not going to be too enthusiastic about the concept. And he took a step closer towards me, and with those eyes he said, Councilman Brown, we're going to do this by force of will and content of character. Will you help us? What a question to put to a United States Marine. Bill Rutherford, I'm in. 38 years ago. A lot of water over, under, around and through that bridge, and a lot of others. Some friendships made, some friendships lost. And every valley and ravine shall be exalted. Every mountain and hill shall be laid low. The crooked shall be made straight, and the rough shall be made plain. Isaiah chapter 40. Do you remember it? Let me paraphrase, if I may, a few verses for you today. With considerable license, poetic I hope, for Bill and Hazel, and Frosty too. He makes the nations of the earth as nothing. All nations before him are nothing. He makes surface transportation board and corporation council and sometimes strip club owners as nothing before him. He brings the princes and the judges and old city councilmen and new ones as well before him as a vanity. He shines his light on noble park district directors and a couple of mayors in particular, most notably Jim Maloof and Mayor Mark Allen of Peoria Heights. Have you not known, have you not heard, that the everlasting God, the Lord, the creator of the ends of the earth, fainteth not, neither is weary. He giveth power to the faint, and to those that have no might he increaseth strength. And those that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall take up wings as in eagles. They shall walk on the trail and not be weary. They shall run on the trail and not be faint. So Bonnie Noble and Tim Cassidy and the PPD, Persevering and Persistent Peoria Park District, and to Steve and Joy, and to Lisa and Bill, and to Elaine and David, and to Joyce, and to Pat, and to so many others here today. This linear trail and this magnificent arch of triumph is for you and all of Central Illinois, and Bill and Hazel, and Frosty 1 and Frosty 2. Thank you all for coming today. Cheers. Thank you for keeping the faith.
Very well said, Bruce. Thank you so much. You mentioned perseverance. And then Bonnie Noble's 40 years with the Park District, both as a board president and director. There's no better way to describe her than perseverance, especially with this trail. There was time and time again when I said this isn't going to go. There were legal challenges. There was the efforts to extinguish the rights of the railroad companies. You had to deal with administrative bodies in Washington, D.C. There were infrastructure challenges once the right-of-way was acquired, and Bonnie just kept moving forward. There were funding issues and challenges that she overcame. And the last hurdle, the original plan here was to go underneath Knoxville. And Bonnie called me into her office and said, we can't go underneath Knoxville because of public utilities. Ameren lines, water company, mains, and the like. And I said, well, how are we going to get across? It's going to be a dangerous situation having a crossing of Knoxville. She says, we're going to go over. I said, well, how are you going to do that? And she started working with the Illinois Department of Transportation and other public officials. She got our funding shifted so that it could be used to build the bridge. She worked with the secretary to find additional funding, and her perseverance paid off. It was more Bonnie than anyone else. There's a lot of people involved in this today, but I could tell you from working with her behind the scenes, it was more Bonnie than anyone else. Bonnie, you'd like to make some remarks?
There have been some wonderful words expressed today, and I did have a closing, but I can do no better at the closing than what Bruce Brown has said. And Tim, thank you very much. I know my tenacity sometimes is overwhelming, but I just appreciate all of you being here. I know that there will be thousands that are going to be using that bridge, and that's all the joy in the world that you need. So I particularly am very grateful that I have 3 grandsons here, shared with Ray Lahood, and I think Lulu is in the audience, but I don't know where. So rather than stretch this out, I know you've all been waiting, so let's cut the ribbon. Let's take our scissors, which we have many, and each one of you, if you can and would like to, take a snip of the scissor home in memory of today. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.